Get your Jesus. Professional as always.
I didn't even had my headphones on there. Oh, when do you ever think about your lugs?
We should explain that lugs is a Scottish word for ears.
It should be.
We need to do translation at every
lugs,
point.
A lug looks more like a lug than an ear. You look at it and go, does that look like an ear? An ear's a nothing word. A lug.
A lug.
Plug in his lugs.
Well, okay, welcome back to Folk in Scotland.
I'm just looking at your plectrum over there. When I came in, listeners, I was coming down the corridor and I felt a force, an energy. The place was like ozone, and when I walked in, he was noodling in his guitar.
I'm sorry.
What a noodle it was.
I'm
he had
so
his breaks
sorry.
down as well, so he was playing
proper
his
noodle.
Remember those buskers who used to play like 10 instruments at once?
Yes,
Aye.
that was me and my noodle.
He was a noodle.
Okay, so
He calls it his plectrum.
Jesus, moving on. There's no number to this episode because of COVID. All our old episodes are kind of out of date now because we've done the quarantine. And
You've missed some wonderful stuff.
And there was loads of episodes before that, so we're going to try and put them out a bit quicker and then get back to some sort of normality with these ones.
This is the new normal. I've been led to believe.
The new normal.
The new normal.
Everyone talks about that, the new normal, like it's this rebirth, this new society. But everyone's still a bastard.
Still an arsehole.
Nothing's changed.
Like Phoenix. You know what I have realised? I never liked people before this carry on.
That's true.
But for the last 4 months, interaction with people's been limited. And I was in a queue and people's fucking tedious conversations.
Yes.
Like I was in the queue and it's Archie had his first pear the other day and he loved the pear. He likes it more than an apple. And I had a compulsion to smash the whole family into mush.
I understand that.
Is that a mental thing?
That. You are mental,
yeah,
I would say.
But
the conversations have become very limited because you've not went, I was out and I saw a UFO. No, the most you've seen looking up is your roof for the last 3-4 months.
Unless you've got a mirrored roof.
Which I don't.
You've got a right scratch perspex roof.
Clawed
it. When you've been scratching your arse.
Okay.
Your hind legs. When you scratch a dog's belly, its leg, like that.
No. Anyway, getting back to some normality.
Oh, coffee's a ball.
And that's the Al Jazeera coffee out of Tesco's.
Oh, wonderful.
Anyway, my friend that has all the issues. Yeah, okay.
Or maybe he's got the secret to successful life.
He seems happy enough.
Mm-hmm.
But the latest one, I was on the phone for an hour last night trying to talk him out of it.
Talk him down.
Have you heard of breatharians?
Oh, Christ's sake.
He's discovered that you can live on sunlight. You don't need...
No, in Dundee...
No, you're dead within a week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can live on sunlight and the nutrients that are in the air.
Like a plant.
Now, all these idiots online that do this, he's been watching tons of videos.
Are they not always Australian?
There's a lot of Australian. Yeah, it's very popular there.
We didn't send our best over there.
I think my favourite one was this blonde, weird Australian woman, I think, and her daughter went, she eats all the time, what are you talking about? Jeez. It was really funny in the documentary.
Pepper Amis.
Yeah.
But they put them to the test and watched them and
yeah.
I'll be honest, I can't last half a day without something to eat.
Really?
I just hit the floor, I'm just done.
Oh, no, I can...
No, I've never had a day without food in my entire life.
Second head injury, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I not forgot, but I don't feel hunger in the same way anymore.
Oh, no.
So I just don't feel
My hunger's all consuming. I'm hungry just now.
I remember being hungry. I was like, oh God, I'm starving. I remember the feeling in your stomach.
I have been, but I've noticed that if you're focusing on something,
yeah,
and you're really focusing on something,
yeah, it just disappears.
And then you don't think about the hunger, but then the minute you've done, then it kicks in.
Well, the way I feel when I'm really hungry, I start getting the dizzy way. I go, oh, there's something wrong.
The dizzy way, yeah.
And it's always to that point.
That's after 2 weeks.
Yeah. But it's really bad. I just don't notice.
What's the rule of 3?
What?
is it not like 3 days without water?
Oh yeah, 3 days without water, you're in trouble.
3 weeks without food?
Yeah, it's something like that.
3 months without a wank. The backlog. I worked with a lassie, and her husband, her brother, had went to the doctor, and he was feeling there was problems he was having, and the doctor says, "You're not masturbating enough." He'd said to him, "When was the last time you'd masturbated?" The guy says, "It's been a couple of years." He says, "No, you need to." It's like if you've a car in the garage, you've got to turn over the engine.
That's true.
So
the
you
brake
need to masturbate.
Oh, that's funny.
Sometimes
how you made a reference to a car there when you're kind of scared of them.
Not scared of
them. You
get
just run over once, you get thrown through the windscreen another time, and it's all boo-hoo.
They're just death machines. Even those Volkswagen Beetles with like a little daffodil in the dash.
The daffodil doesn't make any car safer.
It doesn't make it safer, no.
But you have to admit, it makes you feel safer.
No.
You can't imagine a pile-up.
I'm not in cars much these days at all. I was walking here along Shite Street.
Oh God, why do you go down there?
I don't know, it's a shortcut. And I heard a what the fuck is that?
No.
And as I was passing one of the boarded up windows, it's coming from behind the end, and it's like that. I could hear the clock. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? And there was a hole in it, and I peeked through, and there was a seagull looking back at me.
Oh.
But I thought it was a person.
Right, seagulls have changed. Now, we saw this at the start.
I think they've got human voices now.
The other day, across on that roof from us, I watched the seagull swallow a pigeonhole.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And I thought, it's going to die eating that. No.
The thing is, a good sized pigeon is the size of a lot of Dundee women. Those old women you see going about. Less feathers, so they'll be easier to eat.
That's true.
How
would they get the shopping bags down though?
I know, the shopping trolley. The shopping trolley. The tartan shopping trolley. I'm not sure about those things.
Now, the shopping trolley,
they've got Uzis in them.
My mum has a deluxe version, which is aluminium.
Oh.
It folds, it's beautiful, it's really good, right? But my partner saw it and went, I'd love one of them.
Oh, God.
Now, I've never told a woman what to do in my life.
Was that a step too far?
Nah.
Did you put your foot down?
I put my foot down with a firm hand.
But she went and bought one.
Yes.
She bought two, and now you have one.
She goes, oh, that looks great. I could do tons of shopping.
Yeah.
No, please don't.
No, but I remember, you and I are man bag enthusiasts.
Mm-hmm.
But
excuse me, my bag is tactical.
It's tactical, yeah. Okay. You're one of these men that wear camouflage for an urban environment. That's all I'm saying.
How do you know I'm wearing camouflage?
I don't know.
How can you see it?
It's so good. Like a chameleon. You're like a Mystique.
I wear camouflage trousers because they're average
for the stains.
About 30 the stains, yeah. The after toilet drip. But
it's called
£30 and they last forever.
It's called the Thrupney bit.
The Thrupney bit.
I used to have, remember, parachute trousers back in the late 90s.
Late 90s?
Was it?
Early 90s.
Fuck. No. Because I had a pair when I was working in the pub. So I'd come. I had a pair when I was in Dundee.
You had parachute trousers and you were a bouncer.
Well, yeah.
I bet you got beat up a lot.
No.
Bullied.
No. And yeah, but they were a grey material. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the slightest speck of piss, the whole thing just absorbed them.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. Truly embarrassing. I've been to the stage of actually soaking myself more to conceal.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone watching this has went,
just poured a pint of
and you just pour water on yourself and go, those fucking sinks. But to be fair, the sinks in this building were built when people were about a foot shorter.
Oh, they're wee.
So when
sinks.
you turn them on, they do spray you just below the crotch. So it looks like you've pissed quite a low distance down.
I used to work in a pub which is now called Duke's Corner.
Okay.
And when I left there under a bit of a cloud, 6 years ago, I kept the key to the disabled toilet.
Right, okay.
So any time I drank there, I would just go to this toilet. But they'd never have the wherewithal to get a new key. So it was like my own personal toilet.
Wonderful.
But obviously, it was never being washed. And I never flushed, obviously. But it was like seeing a welcome old friend. Hello there.
There's a jobby from 4
weeks ago. There's a wee jobby 4-week jobby.
Well, oh God. But yeah, that's the thing. Where I live, just along from me, there's houses that are like 800 years old.
Okay.
And when you go in them, honestly, it's like going in a cave. All the doors are so low.
Yeah,
people were midgets.
Folk were tiny.
I think Jesus was about 4'2".
How do they know that?
Eh? I don't know.
He'd been there was a programme I watched.
They found his mountain bike.
There was a programme, and it was one of these reconstruction. It's like, this is what Jesus had looked like.
Yeah.
You're like, no. You found a skull of some guy in a vague area. People don't look the same, you fucking idiot. Can those Channel 5 documentaries, The True Secret of Tutankhamun's Tomb, and you watch the whole bloody thing and there's nothing new. The real Bermuda Triangle.
Now you'll notice on YouTube, if you look for anything to do with UFOs, which is my guilty pleasure, I love UFO documentaries.
No, I understand completely.
Love it. But they've stopped them all because they call it fake news and you can't find them. They're really hard to get. And I hate being told
I hate being told how stupid to be.
Well, yeah, I like to choose my own stupidity.
You set your own high water mark.
But Netflix doesn't care.
Oh, Bob Lazar's
Lazar, I watched that. What a liar. It's wonderful.
The thing is, he's a clever bastard.
He is.
He's very clever.
But you know the smartest thing he's done? He's not changed his story. No. He's made one mistake once.
Yeah.
And he changed it. But apart from that, he's kept it. And
he'll make a good living out of that because you'll charge people to interview him. His name is on some list. He was there, wasn't he?
He was in Los Alamos.
And he's a very clever he's self-taught. He taught himself rockets and shit. But yeah, he's clever. And it's given him enough.
Do you know who I think the mastermind behind this? Everyone goes on about John Lear, who was his father invented the Learjet. And John Lear was a CIA pilot, huge thing, but he's completely mad now. He just believes in huge communities on the moon and everything.
Yeah.
But people think it was him. It's not. The guy behind it is the journalist that first found him, George Knapp. Because George Knapp says this guy came in with John Lear, and I don't know who he was. But 2 years earlier, Knapp is out at this firework display thing in the desert, and it was Lazar running it and John Lear, and he actually mentions them in the report.
So he did. It was a concoction.
There was. I think he's full of shit.
But the thing is, it's all harmless shit. But I've always been of the belief it's concealing the real shit they're up to.
Oh, what's better than say, look at that UFO?
Yeah.
And everyone goes, I saw a UFO, and you get laughed at.
The UFO thing's not as prevalent as it used to be. It's like, what's gone right off the boil? The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, that has.
Folk have lost interest in it.
They just don't care anymore.
It's because everyone has cameras now.
But we don't get anything.
And nobody gets any photographs.
Although there is one side to that that's not exactly right. And I said that for ages. Where's all the footage? But in general, people use their phones now. And anything beyond 1,000 feet, you can't see.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have less chance of capturing it now on that than you did on an old traditional camera.
It's pretty big, mate.
But
it's like a Diplodocus.
Yeah.
Dondering a bit.
Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
No, but I love the whole bullshit of it. Incredible. I love going. I've been to the visitor centre a number of times. There's a guy that's been on that loch for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Jokey wanking into that's why the Loch Ness is so dark. You know what?
He inspired me.
He's washing his balls in it.
That's disgusting.
Is that the English guy or the guy with the beard?
The English guy, his fiancée left him.
Oh.
He sold up, bought a mobile library, turned it into a home, moved up there just to follow a childhood dream. And I thought, there's nothing purer. And he's still there. And actually, the little house he's got, the library that he lives in, is done up beautifully. It's like
it'd be an idyllic place to live.
Yeah, and it's like a show house.
Apart from all the sheep rape and incest.
You know what they're like.
There's a place called Drumnadrochit.
Oh Christ! There's only one family.
Yeah, and there's a pub there, and I went in. We were mates, this is years ago, and they went to play pool, and the pool table was so dusty the balls wouldn't move. But it was a nice kind of pub, it was like old school pub.
Yeah.
The barmaid was cutting hair, so you could get a haircut, but she would also trim the hair of your collies, the collie dogs as well, and she wasn't washing it.
this is something that you'll find when you get more rural in
I
Scotland.
think she was just giving it a wee stir and a pint of lager, and then next.
Yep. You'll go into if you go up to Thurso, there was a fish and chip shop also sold kites, and the kites were above the chips,
Love it.
and they were all covered in fat.
Oh, wonderful.
And
that would make them more aerodynamic. Sleek.
Do you think
Sleek.
But every shop had two.
They'd always sell those buckets and spades. Those plastic things.
And the little polystyrene gliders.
Oh,
The wee
what annoys
propellers.
me about those polystyrene gliders?
What's that?
On the packet, they're all like made in China, eh?
Mm-hmm.
On the packet, it's like a Messerschmitt
Yeah.
raining fire upon the troops, and when you open it, it's just a pile of shite. There's one they sell. They used to sell one at one of the museums I worked at, and it was like insects. On the package was like a
That's right.
dragonfly,
and
but
it's
it had
beautiful.
huge fangs, and it was dripping venom, and it was like a murderous sea zapping along, killing everything. You open it up, it was just a plane with a smiley face on it. But I hate those things. I hate them because people just they give them to the kids take them to the beach, they throw them and just leave them.
That's true.
Polystyrene is an appalling substance.
It is, but I do love them. And do you know you get giant ones of them?
Oh, fuck.
They're about 4 foot long.
Do you ever remember the pigeons you could buy and you wound them up so their wings flap?
Yes. Oh,
They were good.
they're amazing. You still
still
get them,
make
in,
them?
Yeah, you still get them. They're very popular in China and that for kids.
I've never
They're
put together.
beautiful things.
I've never put together one of those Airfix models.
Have you not?
Not really. No, have you?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I think I've. Yeah, no, I don't recall having ever done it.
My
It's
dad
not
done
my
a
thing.
fantastic thing. He's got 2 models.
Mhm. Oh,
And you know, you're just a kid and the dark nights are in, there's nothing to do. He says, so every night we'll build 2 of them. You build that one and I'll build one. We'll do it together.
uh-huh.
But one of them, when the light nights come in, we'll do what I done when I was a kid. And you fill it full of a wee bit of cotton wool and petrol and we set fire to it like it's exploding.
Your dad's a dangerous man. That's wonderful.
And we'd blow them up in the garden.
Did
It was
he also
great fun.
show you how to kill a man?
Yes.
Let's go out and kill somebody next to the chip shop.
My dad was shooting. Well, he was in the army, so
Mhm.
he wanted me to know how to use a gun safely.
Oh well.
So I was shooting 500 yards, as he put it in old language, by the time I was 8. 500 yards with a 303. And
like a militia.
the Lee Enfield,
Mm-hmm.
it may be 100 years old, but when you shoot that's a hell of a bang. And when you're 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I've still got hearing problems from all the gunfire.
Would he kidnap you wearing a balaclava and say he was
Just
IRA?
training.
Just for training. You'd wake up in the middle of the night, you'd have a knife to your throat. I would.
It was a very strange mix, my dad, because you would learn how to shoot a gun.
Uh-huh.
You'd learn where to shoot someone, centre of mass, all this sort of. And I'm going, Mom, I was shooting centre of mass today. That's good, son.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
So you'd do that, but you'd also make you a lovely packed lunch, and you'd sit and have it, and he'd ask you about what because I'd love drawing. So he goes, oh, you're going to draw this, and I got you new pencils. So I'm out shooting targets, and I had to draw them as well, and draw the gun.
But would he poison every third slice of corned beef?
Yeah, I had to, just so I could get through it.
No, so you built
Build
up
it
the
up,
tolerance.
yeah.
Can I people let themselves get bitten by a snake?
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
I remember him telling me that I can, I could, what do you call it? When trains derail a train by using grease in the couplings.
Or other fluid.
He was, I don't know what he'd done in the army. He says, I just faffed around, son. What did you do? I just faffed around. But it turned out, after he died, I found all his stuff. And there's pictures of
Human
him
scalps.
with a rifle and skis, and he would patrol. And he mentioned it to me once, but I didn't really understand it. And he would go along on his own outside the city in Germany, Berlin. The Berlin Wall turned into a fence.
Right, yeah.
And he would patrol it, and he'd see guys with guns on their side and wave to them, and then just go into the next bit. And he'd do that. And
Well, that had been a better
Crazy,
gig than
yeah.
Ireland.
That's
You'd
true.
wanted to go to Germany. I know people that were served in Germany. And it was
I
just-
think he was
it's just-
out by
it was
the
just-
time
yeah.
Ireland
Was he?
started. Yeah.
I watched a documentary about the Irish thing the other day, The Troubles.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
And I just had this rage because, well, all these people died.
Yeah.
For fucking what?
Yes.
What's the end result been?
That's futility of war, though.
They should have gone back in time and showed people a picture of Ian Paisley cuddling up with Martin McGuinness and said, look
It's
at
going to
this.
change.
This is what's
Yeah.
happening in 10 years. Folk would have said, fucking hell. It's ridiculous.
It
If
is
you tell
ridiculous because it's in our lifetime that the British Army looked at civilians as a genuine
The
enemy.
shit that went on there is inconvenient.
And
Civil War, man.
Civil
It's
War,
the worst.
yeah, everyone
But
was
we used
looking
to
at each
look.
other as genuine enemies.
The thing that annoys me all
horrible.
the time, you look abroad and British states always been, oh, those folk in South America, with all their madness. Ken, you wouldn't
Yeah.
get that over here. But, no,
But we're
Jesus
the
Christ,
maddest.
we were at it.
Yeah,
Just,
I think it's just human nature.
yeah.
It's very easy to blame it on a country or a organisation or a whatever.
No.
It's human nature.
People, there's always somebody taking
It's-
advantage of chaos. People,
Yes.
there's always agents of chaos that want to. A little bit of chaos is maybe a good thing. Shake stuff up a little bit.
Yeah, but you still need that sort of structure to bring it back to something that you can live in.
Yeah.
It's like what true anarchists think that
Oh,
one day the airline pilot would go, well, I'm going to work on the bins this week,
yeah.
and he'll do that, and everyone will just help.
It's not going on.
But that means that I'm allowed to fly a plane or do surgery.
Well, I was at,
You're in
the last
trouble.
day I was at school with, they said she was an anarchist. But she was quite a kind of middle class girl.
As
And she's
all
not
are.
she's not become a middle. When I was
No.
when I went to Glasgow Uni, I got into student politics a little bit.
Oh dear.
And we're on a few
You
marches.
sound awful.
No, but yeah.
Yeah, you were.
I was in it for the right reasons, but I soured of the whole thing because all the people who'd be the most like comrades, the right socialists,
Yeah.
they were always these wealthy kids,
Yes.
and they were doing sit-ins and that because for them they didn't have to work at university. There was no pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were going to do fine, and if
Mhm.
I've not caught up with any of them for a long time, but I imagine they're all pretty successful
No,
people.
that's
It was
always
just
the same.
dabbling. It was just dabbling a little bit.
It's
So-
it's like I used to travel around Europe on Euro buses, Euro Express, what are they
wonderful.
called, Euro, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it so cheap, or
Yeah.
you can get a month ticket or whatever, you know.
No, now, mate.
And well, no, not now. And I used to actually use the buses as a hotel, so I
Right,
would
okay.
go on them and
I can't
sleep
sleep
all
on a
night.
bus.
Oh, no problem.
Sleep
I'm
on a
easy.
train, yes, not a bus.
Well, a bus, no problem. I'd wake up in a new city. I'd had a great time.
Mhm.
And I remember the majority of people that would be travelling, they
Mhm.
just had a single bag with them, and they're like, "Oh, this is great. We're living
Mhm.
like this easy life. It's, you know,
It's a young man's game.
oh God, yeah." But they were all loaded, so
Mhm.
it's. I
Try-
discovered very early. It's
Yeah.
it's very easy to
Well,
be poor when you're rich.
I told you before, people I went to art school with all went to India, and they were just getting to like, just stay in like hostels,
Mhm.
and they were getting to just like hitchhike and all this shit.
Yeah,
And I'm like that. No, you're not. But the reason for going to India, India's like us. It's such a laid back atmosphere, guys. And I'm like, what?
what?
And then when they came back, they're a bit sheepish, but they'd go off the plane, and the heat and just the humanity,
Mhm.
the raw humanity of India
Yeah.
was too much for them. So they booked into a 5-star hotel with a mum and dad's gold credit
Of
card,
course.
and that's where they were for the
Yeah.
for a duration.
Yeah.
And when I thought, you fucking Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
I was sitting on a bus once, and I'm coming back from. I'm sure it was Barcelona.
Mhm.
Maybe not. And I was listening to these people at the back of the bus, and when there's a certain class of traveller, they would just see each other and come together.
Yeah.
And when there was the poor asses like me,
Mhm.
you spotted them, and you would all talk because
Yeah.
they were all. We always done it, but you always felt a bit out your depth, where the other people were always like fully in control. We're like, oh, we're just, you
Yeah.
know, we're travelling here, we're doing this. we
Phone
want-"
call away from
Yeah,
the helicopter coming
where everyone that was sort of maybe a bit poorer and travelling on
in.
basic money,
Yeah.
they, when I mean not overwhelming or out their depth, you were always just waiting for something to go wrong, and then you had your ticket to get home because
Yeah.
that was your only option.
Mhm.
And everyone was like that I met. Oh God,
Mhm.
I was away from the mic there. I'm terribly sorry. That wasn't very professional.
But let's not.
Let's not.
No, let's not use that word.
Nah.
When we start using that word, people will start expecting
Right.
it.
Okay. So just expect
So we are
The-
rank. Just disclaimer: we are rank amateurs.
rank amateurs.
Rank amateurs.
So when you have no money
Mhm.
and you're travelling like that, there's a good part of it is expecting failure.
Yes.
So any little good thing that happens, it feels like a miracle, and you have a great time.
Well, you don't want to take Elle abroad.
I've been I broke my toe closing the fridge once,
Uh-huh.
and I had to go to hospital that night.
Yeah.
And everyone was
But
really
you
happy.
but travel insurance,
scary.
you're covered. Europe, what's happening with the Europe thing now as far as insurance goes?
The health card's gone. That'll
Oh,
be gone. Yeah. We're losing everything, man.
Aye, the thing is, I'm not much of a traveller, so we're losing things I've not really exploited.
I've used it
I
all.
feel bad for
Yeah.
young folk.
You see, I used to just. This is the thing. It's so important. Travel is so important.
Yeah,
And
you need to
expanding
meet,
the mind and all
yeah.
this sort of thing. And I was absolutely addicted to travelling at one point. I started when I was 14 on buses and just taking off to Glasgow, which I walked back from. It was insane, 50 odd miles. But I would do things like that. And young people now just can't get on a bus, go to Victoria bus station, and then take off around Europe. You've got an amazing place to visit. It's just going to be a pain.
Just all the foreign food.
Or
So
just
delicious,
go and work somewhere.
So delicious. I remember the first time I tasted couscous was in France.
Oh.
And I thought that's chicken and I thought, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Because Scottish food, let's be honest,
It's not the
it's
greatest.
not got much better. I've been watching stuff about on YouTube, Japanese street food, Chinese street food, Singapore street food, and it's just these artistry that do the most beautiful, delicious looking stuff. There's no Scottish equivalent.
No, I remember getting puff candy.
Yeah, there's the European market they do in Dundee every year, and it's overpriced shite.
It's terrible.
It's just like.
Have you seen the German sausage shop with the supermodel that works in it?
Oh, she's left a little.
Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it.
Well, there's a guy
It's
that
been
comes.
years.
He was quite cool. He was a guy that owns a German gold mine. We've discussed this, and he makes schnapps, but not that sweet stuff your gran used to drink.
Okay.
The peach schnapps. He makes the proper schnapps because
my
you'd
goodness.
always see war films.
Yeah.
And it's in Stalingrad, and the Germans keeping themselves warm with the schnapps.
With the schnapps.
This was that kind of schnapps. And you have a sip of it, and it's a nice warm glow. But he had sausages, and you can go on a tour of his gold mine. It's spent, all the gold's gone.
Right,
But
okay.
you can go around the caverns. It looks
Nice.
wonderful.
I used to go out with a German girl.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching Inglourious Bastards,
Uh-huh.
and I saw Michael Fassbender ask for 2 drinks, I knew that was a mistake.
You knew.
I knew. I learned that one earlier.
There was a lassie I went to art school with called Sabine Klaus.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabine Klaus was German.
Sabine is like the most common
Yeah,
German name
Sabine Klaus.
possible.
But she used to do performative art.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
they'd roll her up in a blanket and then unroll her at people's feet. But I had a chihuahua. I don't know if I've told this little tale, but I had a chihuahua at the time, Tony Montana.
Mhm.
And I'm walking up the Perth Road, and Sabine Klaus is coming towards me, but she's dressed like a kind of Fraulein. She's got her hair in the bun,
Right.
and she's got the gingham in the skirt, and she's getting all the... And she's got a big basket, and she goes, "Oh, what an adorable little dog!" And she squats down to speak to the dog, and her body stocking rides up, and she's got a gigantic skid mark at the back of it.
Oh my God.
And it stayed with me.
That would traumatise you. Though. That
Traumatise
would
me.
make you think
I
different.
could see that the dog smelt it. He started licking his lip.
You just done a German accent, and you know what?
It's based on my
It's a
research.
very stereotypical German accent.
It's called
but
"Hello, hello."
my ex sounded exactly like that. She
Well,
sounded.
I think we've discussed this before. German gets this reputation as being a very functional. It's the language of war.
Yeah, but
But
no.
they say Germans are the most romantic people. It's like they say the most romantic people on earth are the Russians. The French get this reputation, and
Yeah.
the Italians.
But it's all
they're just
stereotypes.
smooth bastards.
But-
the Russians, when they love you,
Oh.
they will cut off their legs to feed you. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
it's
wonderful.
all consuming passion.
Buy you lots of Adidas. But the
Yeah.
thing is, it's my German ex. I've told you about her before, but her accent was very thick. Her English was perfect,
Bavarian,
apart from I don't know.
Hamburgian.
Don't know.
Oh no.
She mentioned. I just
Yeah,
tuned
he
out.
didn't listen.
Honestly, I don't remember. I have no idea where she was from.
No.
She was originally. There's a story about her. She'd done a bit of time in jail.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she came
in the
out
50s
in the
on her way back from Brazil, Argentina.
for drugs.
Drugs. Oh.
No, for a bit of drug smuggling.
Ah,
Then she married an American soldier.
right.
And when she was, and he came to, was it No, what was the one not far from here? The airbase that closed a few years ago.
Lookers.
Nope.
Lossy. Kinloss.
No. What's the closer than that? There was one not too far away.
Oh, that's maybe a secret one.
No, it's just a small one. It was just a sort of
just a nuclear bomber.
just a wee, it'll be something like that. But it wasn't too far. I can't remember.
yeah.
It was just outside Forfar. No,
Okay.
a bit further north. And all the soldiers used to live around Lunan Bay and areas like that.
Oh yeah.
So you'd go surfing with a lot of Americans, and that was cool. But I didn't know, and I met her because they got a place in St Andrews, and I met this girl on the beach.
Smooth as
Yeah,
silk.
just as usual.
Doing
Then
your
you find out
jellyfish
she's
impersonation.
married, and you're like,
Oh.
oh god, okay. But anyway, it just went on anyway. I didn't care. So a few years later,
You dog.
in America, she gets in touch, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I think I told you that she faked her own death and everything.
Yeah. That's a
That's
common
her.
thing. Common
It's a
thing.
common thing.
Common thing.
But she rides with a biker gang now with a parrot on her shoulder.
Jesus, that's an affectation, isn't it?
Isn't it? That fucking parrot hated me, and I hated it.
You know my
You shouldn't hate
feelings
an
on
animal,
biker
but it
gangs.
threatened to kill me.
Sons of Anarchy. It's so macho. It's tips.
It went too
Well,
much
I remember seeing, was it Louis Theroux, possibly?
Yeah.
And he went to biker gang clubhouse, isn't it? They call them
A clubhouse. It's clubs, yeah.
And it wasn't pleasant.
No.
But they were all there. The gym equipment.
Mhm.
They were. Everyone was very muscular.
Mhm.
Ah! Ah!
The foam's falling off the roof.
Oh, that's an injury. That's an injury.
It's alright,
My
I changed my
claim's
insurance.
going in.
They're all going to come
that's
down.
The ghouls.
The thing is, I got the proper tape, but it's just not working. They're falling off every day.
Yeah, maybe some glue. And
Yeah.
they were all very muscular guys. A lot
Yeah.
of tattoos, a lot of leather wear. A lot like the company of each other,
Yeah.
greasing each other up. They realised it was extraordinarily gay.
Yeah.
They must have thought, guys,
Yeah.
this is going a
This
bit gay.
looks-
So all of a sudden a door opened and all these strippers came in and started like going about. And I thought, nicely saved there.
I don't need the company of men that much.
No, yeah.
It's
Well, my mates are a right salty crew.
right. Okay.
They're all quite nerdy people.
Uh huh.
I can be a bit laddie when I've got a few drinks, but I couldn't be arsed. You know, you see these like guys that play five-a-side football
Mm-hmm.
and all the after football drinks and that.
No,
You
I
have to
don't.
listen to
I
it,
don't
and
go for
it's
that.
It's tedious.
Yeah.
You know, people who have the same. God, here's us. Can how people have the same conversation every time they meet? It's just the same.
That's us.
Yeah, it is us. But I like to think it's a little bit more varied. But you know what I mean?
I think it is.
It's like stag nights where there's 60 people.
No. Oh, I
And
couldn't do that.
And there's
No.
there's a bit of spite in it. You know, when the groom
Mhm.
ends up getting stripped.
There's a bit.
Set
Yeah,
on
it's a bit of
fire.
aggression. It's a bit.
Yeah.
There's always one guy going, "Yeah, let's shag him."
Let's all shag him. Not in a gay way. Just shag him. Can I go 10? Can I go 10? And I'll clean up afterwards.
Yeah, there's
Aye.
always one.
Okay, Steve. Okay, Steve. There was a guy I worked with. He joined the dress. I'm not keen on the whole dressing up thing, but he dressed up as the Romans. You know, the soldiers.
Yeah.
And I think they weren't called the Praetorian Guard. They were called the Antonian Guard or some shit.
Some stupid.
But the guy who was the centurion, is that how it works?
Yeah. Okay.
He thought it drifted into normal life.
Oh,
So
no.
some of the other club members would like treat him like he was their boss in
Ah.
civvies. So when they went to the pub afterwards in civilian clothes, they would all go and get him a drink.
I think this is.
That's a male thing.
I
isn't
think
it?
this is something that happens everywhere. I watched a documentary about Vietnam reenactors,
Oh yeah, okay.
and they had a sergeant, they had an officer, and like that, after it was all finished, they still said yes, sir.
That's weird. I watched one about guys that go across to France and dress up as soldiers and fuck about the bocage and all that.
yeah. Why?
And you're like, give them their due. A lot of them are actually dressed as Americans because most reenactors, they like the Nazi uniform.
See, the reenactors will do anything for a Nazi dagger.
Yeah, well, the whole steampunk one, the whole cosplay stuff, steampunk's interesting because what was the pith helmet's become problematic. Because the pith helmet's
ridiculous.
like
It's ridiculous.
that's become a colonial thing.
Anything can be attached to anything.
Anything you can dress up as a interdimensional villain,
And I can tell
a
you,
destroyer of souls.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But if you dress up as like,
we put a pith helmet on, and there's nothing. See, this is where you have to.
have you ever
draw the line.
lapped?
No, but I went to the Ren Fair in New York.
Okay, and they were lapping.
And, it's unbelievable. Ren Fair, Stirling Wood, something like that. It's the biggest Ren Fair, Renaissance fair in America, and it runs for like 6 months of the year or something.
People
It's
never
huge.
come out of character.
No, and they all do Ren speak, which is like this weird English accent. In fact, one of the guys
done sell
stopped
me.
me and he said, "You have to watch your accent." I went, "Why?" He goes, "Because that could offend Irish people." And I went, "Oh, so my own Scottish accent sounds more Irish and not good enough."
That's disappointing.
And
But
I went, "No, that's my
but the
accent." And he
thing
went,
is-
"Sure it is."
That's it. The thing is, Ren speak. That's how languages work. That
Mhm.
will become a language.
It's so, and they use things. It's like they know that we call stores shops, but they spell it with two P's and
Of
an
course,
E,
medieval.
and then it's turned into a shoppy.
Shoppy.
Go to the shoppy, and I'm like, no, it's just a shop.
Oh Christ!
And then they don't say ye. They don't. Right, when we say, "Are you going to the shop?" Are you going to the? We don't say, "Are ye going to the shop?" Like Brigadoon, but they say everything with ye. I went, no, it's pronounced ye, and they just wouldn't have it. They corrected me continuously.
Oh God, I was just. I'd like to go to a medieval banquet because I do eat with my hands anyway. But like a suckling pig.
Well, they have that.
Oh, I'd love that shit.
They have a castle, and
I just wear my jeans.
They had the pig on the roast, a proper spit roast, not the kind that we watch.
Yeah.
A genuine spit roast. They had all amazing acts going on all the time. They had a full-size chessboard, but it's all like a play and everything. I thought, this is
when
shit.
you lose, you get your throat slit.
Yeah, but it was actually really good. And the jousting, the guys that done it were the stuntmen from, what's that film with Heath Ledger where he's a knight in it? And you know when all the balls hit each other, they all explode. They were doing that.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
falling off backwards and getting slammed, and the horses do this controlled fall, and it's absolutely wonderful. But the people that go are the actors, the performers are fantastic. They're all in, and they really give you a great show, and they look after you and the whole thing. But the people who attend it, they also believe it, and they're going around because, did you know, to be a Scotsman, there's a lot of people going dressed as Scotsmen, and they have a big bonnet with a massive feather on
And
it,
a huge long kilt.
and a huge long kilt like
Down
a
their
lady's
ankles.
kilt, and they all have a traditional Scottish leather mug.
What?
I've never heard of it. So when I went, "What's that? Where did you get the mug?" I went,
A
"It's
leather mug. Is that no Marty Pello?
joke of the day, joke of the day."
Marty Pello was born in a public toilet in Glasgow.
I can see it in his
Have
face.
you seen the state of him?
No, I haven't seen it. That's
Jesus.
heroin, though, isn't
It's
it?
heroin.
Yeah.
He was holding down a pretty substantial heroin. Remember, he was married to like the Daily Record. Remember Daily Record's Page 3 girls?
Yeah.
And there was a lassie called, I think, Huthard. Catherine Huthard.
Huthard.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
But that was Marty Pello, the golden couple of Scotland for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Aye, well,
Oh, joke of the day. That's a good one.
Keep it
That's
up,
a good one.
Keep up. No, I just, I went to a thing called, it was up near, it was funded by the European Union, and it was always doomed to fail. I think it was like Pictavia.
Pictavia, yeah.
There was one up north that was called something else, I can't remember. And yeah, you'd walk around, and it was quite cool. He did like the kind of Stone Age huts and then Iron Age huts. But the guy there, like stick of the dumps down.
Yeah.
And he was plucking a chicken or something, and my dad went to speak to him, but he wouldn't have come out of character.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I'm like,
people.
come on, man.
Just talk.
Just
See,
talk.
I went to Pictavia because I thought, it's new. I'll go and see it.
Yeah.
We're all Picts around here. We still use Pictish language. We still, it's all within the culture, and I was kind of interested. So I went up. There's two words in that whole building. On everything you read and everything they say, there's two words: might and may. This is
Oh,
might have been what they listened to.
Yeah.
So there's just music playing, and they may have made food this way. Everything's made up.
Well,
They
can't
have
say
no idea.
they will have masturbated on chickens.
They would have.
They would
But
have.
they didn't put that there.
They didn't put that there.
Fucking
Dirty
rubbish
bastard.
place.
No, it's. Have you been to the Crannog?
No, what's that?
The Cranog's in Loch Tay. And if you ever go around a Scottish loch, there's always these little islands on them. You know, there's a wee
Some
cluster
beautiful
of
and wee trees on
But
it, yeah.
a lot of those have started off as a Cranog. So you can imagine Scotland, you couldn't get about over land. It was forested and it was crazy.
That's it,
People
yeah.
went round the coast on rivers. So people lived on the river.
Right,
so they had
okay.
these Cranogs. So it was a walkway and then a stilted platform.
All right, got you.
And they've built one in Loch Tay, the Cranog.
nice.
And it's great. But they dress as like people of the time, but they speak fucking English.
But they speak normal.
and they're
to you.
nice. But I've always wanted to spend the night on the Cranog.
That'd be,
That'd be
make your own
wonderful.
one.
Just make my own Cranog. Just on the Tay.
Just float out
Just float out. Just float out.
in the tea.
The Cranog.
Watch all the bodies float past you. Oh,
Bodies. Oh, God. No, but yeah, I don't... Saying that, would that be an okay job for a summer? Dressing up as a
I
cave
think it could
person?
be a very rough job sometimes.
Yeah,
out
some
in
folk
the-
might laugh at you.
might.
Might.
I think I'd go just to laugh at people.
Yeah,
Like
so
at Pictavia, they annoyed me.
did they? With the
They
but
annoyed me.
they'd been with the subtly. Did you give you that Scottish subtliness?
I think. Well, yeah.
You know,
we're
'cause
not good at the service
You
industry.
know the Disneyland cheer,
Mhm.
forced cheeriness.
Yeah.
That I couldn't sustain that.
Well, I saw a video, and it was a girl in whatever Disneyland it was, and she was clearly Australian, playing Daisy Ridley. You know, playing Rey
Okay,
at the Star Wars thing. And she's such an expert at talking to kids and that. Every kid was enthralled with her. She's a young girl.
resting actor.
Magical.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give her. You can't take it from her. She had absolute skills with every kid,
Yeah.
and, and she just changed
They
each
should
one
go home
because she
and
saw
sob
some.
at night.
Yeah, and I'll never be in a film, but she saw some of the kids getting scared of her,
She
so
could
she
probably
knew
be
how
a
to
better
get through.
actress than Daisy Ridley. Though.
That wouldn't be hard. Bless her. But the
Think she'll go on to big things?
no,
No.
this girl was fantastic. And then I just thought of the slightly rounded lady who I said hello to at Pictavia, and she went into character and started screaming at me.
I bet you said to God.
So I just left.
Those rotten teeth are really good. Did you get them made? No, that's my actual teeth.
Did you get fat for the role?
That's my real teeth.
Oh, it's fucking terrible.
I've never had a job like that. No, I was a tour guide in a distillery.
Yeah, you said that. I just can't imagine it. I mean, you seem to be quite social. You get on with people, don't you? No. You fight
No.
more than you get on with, but...
I didn't fall out with many people. Well, the woman who ran the place was dead like couthy and nice, but it turned
Yeah.
out she hated my guts and she was a cunt.
Oh,
I overheard her slagging me off, so I made an enemy with her.
Oh.
But she's dead, so who got the last laugh?
Well, here's the thing.
Scruffly old bitch.
when I worked at the car place, I always thought, surly, that's a good word, I always thought it was a bit surly. I always thought I didn't care about this job. But that was only on the inside. What come out as I go, here's another fucking customer. I go, morning, how are you doing?
Oh,
It's a lovely
wonderful.
day we're getting.
That's professionalism.
And I would talk, but
Yeah.
inside I was angry. So when they said, I'll only deal with me, when they came back, I went, why? I was a dick to them.
Oh, you didn't.
But I wasn't. No matter how hard I tried, it was nice.
There's like the service industry. If you're working in hotels, top end hotels, there's the skill to deal with customers is incredible.
Yeah.
To be able to be pleasant when somebody's being a complete arsehole, I just can't do it. But the thing about Scottish service, they were unpleasant to you from the go.
Yeah.
You could come in smiling and happy, and they were just vile. They didn't react to unpleasantness.
No, they're just, in the States. See, when you go in.
But people, there was
any
hotels
shop,
in this country.
I know.
There was restaurants.
It's insane. Not now.
No,
Not
but
now.
before we started to learn how to be nice to people, I just don't
I
understand
don't
it.
know how it happened, but in America, people are so nice to you. And even though a lot of it's really false, it is
Because
cultural.
it's tips, though.
Yeah, and that's fine. But you go in places that don't accept tips. There was some, and people are really nice.
Yeah.
I have to say, for politeness in the Midwest in the States, I've never experienced anywhere like it. Politeness is just everywhere.
But
Just people in the street that
a
are
polite
polite.
society can be a dangerous one when it
Maybe.
goes.
Maybe.
When it goes.
But everyone was really
There's
considerate.
there's just no tips here.
thankfully.
Yeah, well, restaurants, I always leave a tip.
Because people weren't
I
getting
sit
paid
you
in the
down,
States.
but yeah, but you don't. Who leaves a tip really if you're going in for a call? It's
I
funny.
got a tip once
Did you?
in this country.
Mhm.
It was one of the owners of Hertz.
Mm.
Had come in to play golf.
Right.
So he come into Dundee, pick up his car, had this big bronze Mercedes waiting for him. I'd all got all prepared and that. Give me a tip, right? And I was like, and it was in the office, and I was like, oh, I can't accept that. You know, don't take tips. And he goes, no, it's okay. He says, actually, I'm a co-owner of the company, and I want you to have that. And I was like, well, thank you very much. £50,
Not bad.
right?
Mm.
But he opened the door, and then he stopped, and he was working on his phone. My boss went, all tips come up to the office. And this guy just looked up, and he says, could you open the back door for me? Went up and gave my boss shit for it. It was and my boss didn't speak to me for, I swear to you, about 6 weeks. He was so angry and embarrassed by it, because he was wanting the tip.
I don't like that shit.
Terrible, eh?
You know that the Roux brothers,
The Roux brothers?
the French guys, the restaurateurs, the chefs.
No.
They've got a place in Gavroche, I think it's in London, someplace. But they, all the tips go. The people don't get to keep their tips.
Disgusting.
It's fucking disgusting. I would have these places shut down.
Yeah. It's theft, man.
You could make an argument. You've got the front of house staff
Uh-huh.
and the back staff.
Mm-hmm.
So the waiter's getting a tip, but
Split it
split
amongst-
it.
yeah.
No, but they were taking the tips off everyone.
Disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting.
I bet the people who were leaving the tips didn't know that.
But their argument is, but you're working with the Roux brothers. This will set you up for
Oh,
you
listen,
know that kind of
I
bullshit.
get this. I get this daily.
Yeah.
I get this from my customer,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
my customers,
No.
from idiots daily.
Yeah, they say working with me is an honour.
Mm-hmm. I get it all the
I
time.
think there's people that go about in the world that never pay for fuck all.
Well, you know what?
Nobody's giving us anything free. I'm waiting for this
I've wondered
pie.
how many times it works
Mhm.
if you just keep asking. Because I've had people, quite well-known people that I
Uh-huh.
will not name, but if I said it, people would know their names, that have asked for my items for free. And they said, I'll mention it in one Instagram post or something. You're like, fuck off. I've got bills to pay.
Saying that, if Kim Kardashian was,
If Kim Kardashian-
was
that would be
buying a
different.
pair of your leather,
Yeah, that would be different. But
yeah.
honestly, people with like
But
2,000
that's
Instagram
how, but
followers.
that's how they make their money,
Crazy,
isn't
man.
it? They get paid by companies just to mention it. We should
Per
st- we should
Instagram
start doing
post,
it.
it's like $1
I
million.
got- I got
this.
£3,000 to push the Grampian cookbook. Now Gladys Menhennick, she's a wonderful woman.
Menhennick, is that how you say that?
Menhennick.
Mehennick?
Menhennick.
Mehennick. Is that
Eh,
a Scottish name? I've never heard
it
of it.
features soups, fish, beef and venison, puddings. I don't know what this is. Fly cups and pieces. Oh,
What?
a cup of tea, a fly cup, sweeties and pantry.
Wait, you've said a fly cup, like, yeah.
A
what's
fly
a fly
cup. If you have
What's
a wee
fly?
fly cup of tea with a wee biscuit, I think that's what a fly cup is.
No, I think you've just
Is that a cup-
interpreted
is that a cup
That's-
full of
that's
flies?
A cup full of flies.
Just blue balls. Mm.
And then what was the other one you got?
Scotland the best.
Scotland the best makes all other guides to Scotland redundant.
Saying that, I think this is a 2011 edition. A lot has
The
improved
world
since
has
then.
changed.
And
£1.50.
this one, Scotland's Unsolved Mysteries of the 20s.
I want to read that.
Yeah, if you, the biggest mystery is a royal
I've just
disaster,
saw something,
death
man.
of a warship.
I've just seen something.
What?
I've seen something. Where did you get this?
Oh, it's from the library.
I know. It's a library book.
When was it last time?
2006, you're in trouble.
Oh no!
Perth and Kinross. Oh.
They come round to your house in a black van, black two windies. You get bundled in the back.
You know what? I bet you bought that second hand
No,
in the
no,
town.
no. I found it in a box outside Scrap Antics. They said help yourself, so I'm like,
that-
oh well.
I did see all that
I
actually.
took it.
Yeah.
I always have a rummage.
Yeah, I did.
I like to rummage through. You know, you'll go to a charity shop and there's a wee box outside with books.
Yeah.
I love a rummage. You'll
A
find some
rummage.
great stuff. There's the Communist Party in Dundee. They have a wee stall in the town sometimes.
I
You've
see
seen
that.
their
Yeah,
book.
in their books.
But it's just Patricia Cornwall
It's
stuff.
always that.
Garbage.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Nigel Tranter. You've
Right.
seen his stuff. He wrote like Scottish historical stuff.
Boring.
It's just 5 chapters about Bonnie Prince Charlie getting his hole.
Oh, honestly, when I was at school,
Mm-hmm.
there was something about Jacobites and
Did you like all that?
I don't know. I know.
No,
I hated
did
it.
it-
Crofton.
Oh, the run rig system. The music of Run Rig.
No.
There was a thing.
Terrible.
This isn't really a political thing, but
here we go.
Features politics.
Here we go.
But the Prime Minister was up in this country the other day, and like him or Liam, that's not the point I'm making.
Okay.
But they went up to interview people to see what their opinion was of Boris Johnson being in Scotland, and it was all people dressed like Jacobites. And you think, I wonder what these guys are going to say. But the BBC journalist approached them like, this could go either way. You're like, shut the fuck up. But that's what puts people off of any persuasion.
Yes.
I would think, whatever your argument, wherever you lie on independence or anything, the flag waving lot are not pleasant of any persuasion.
They're not.
It's off-putting.
I saw 2 American girls the other day, and they put on Braveheart makeup because they were told to wear a mask in public. So they put on Braveheart. And then someone from Scotland went, "You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Our death rate is down to 0 today because we wear masks, you stupid fucks." It's brilliant.
Did they do the Braveheart makeup that had the saltire in it?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. But that
wasn't
historically correct anyway.
They didn't.
Bullshit.
The pigs wore that. They weren't pigs.
No.
They were Scots by that point.
The horrible thing, I'm not a fan of the film Braveheart. I remember Alex Salmon said, this is the most important Scottish film of our lifetime. He thought,
I know this
it was filmed in fucking Ireland, I believe. Yeah.
It started here, but if you watch the start of the film, it's pishing down.
Aye, that's a Scottish bit.
It's just outside Aberdeen, in a place gets the most rain in Europe. And they done it there, and then they said, no, there's tax breaks in Ireland, but it was just going to be wet all the time, so they went to Ireland and done it.
But what I don't like about it is that film's very popular with certain elements in America.
Oh yes, this is
the horrible thing. We've spoken about this before, but the KKK, a lot of that's got its roots in Scottishness.
Oh yeah,
a lot of the Scottish people that went tartan. Like the way that neo-Nazis wear like that, what's it called? I know what you mean. But that is tartan. That's come from because Scottish landowners, their slaves would wear their tartan. It's
someone said to me once. I was in Arkansas. I was just north of Little Rock, is it called?
6-2 Arkansas.
6-2 Arkansas. And someone said to me, "It must be great living in Scotland, the last white nation on earth."
Oh Jesus, is that what they?
And I went, what? And they were but very open about it. That's wonderful, that's great. And I'm like,
where have they got that from? That notion.
This notion of Scotland being the last white place. Now the reason
could probably say
look
Eastern Europe's got more of a
yes.
There's still a kind of,
but they don't look at maybe Nordic countries because they still see them as foreign. But we speak English, so that's the connection.
But
that's it.
I suppose Norway's
ridiculous.
Norway's become quite a multi-ethnic country. Yeah. They're very open, but I'd
there's
imagine
a weird view
Russia,
of Scotland.
Bulgaria, Poland would be very kind of white country.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Sniper, the film Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
With Tom Berenger.
Yes.
But I think they made like Sniper 4. Tom's getting a wee bit old by this time.
He's an old man.
He's an old geezer. But they were on a undercover mission in Russia to snipe somebody, shoot somebody. And his co-sniper was a black guy.
Yeah.
And I thought, so he had to hide all the time because he'd have stood out in the crowd. And you thought, for Christ's sake, you've not thought this through. Not thought this through.
But I encountered quite... The funny thing was... with racism in the States that I found, that people were very open about it in the sense they didn't realise they were being racist.
No.
Because if you went, no, that's a bit... And they'd go, oh, no, it's just that's good that there's...
That was the same here.
It's so strange that racism...
racism was... When I was a kid growing up in my hometown, racism was everywhere.
Yeah.
All isms.
Were
front and centre. Because nobody ever told anybody off. Well, there wasn't there wasn't many black people. There was some Indian people who had the local takeaway, and then there was Chinese people who had the Chinese takeaway, and that was pretty much it.
One of my best...
And imagine enduring some of the shit that
oh God almighty, yeah. I mean, my best friend from primary 1 right to when I was 17 was an Indian chap, who was just the most... he was, I would say, the funniest human I've ever met. He couldn't say anything without making me just piss myself laughing. And his cousin was quite amazing. I won't say his name. Lovely Indian kid as well. Also hilarious. But at school, he fought racism in an amazing way.
Right.
He joined the National Front. He joined the National Front, and he used to go around with a bomber jacket and going, all these immigrants. He was the funniest kid. And you know what? I've always remembered how empowered he was to knock down racism by laughing.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
And that's what I've stuck with.
Yeah.
Just, okay, sometimes you have to really make stands against it. And other times just laugh, because it doesn't. The people aren't sometimes smart enough.
No.
Even understand what they're doing.
But you see it's like Asian guys, shopkeepers. They've got stores in some rough fucking areas, and you think, Jesus, that's ballsy. Yeah, that is really ballsy. But they've got the last laugh because they've bought the nice car, they've got the nice house. You know what I mean? This is purely business. But they've sent their entire families. They're all doctors.
Hopefully,
progression, man.
Turning a corner at the moment with a lot happening in the world, and we're going to maybe at least talk about racism.
Do you think there seems to be more energy on the side of right at the moment?
Yes.
The energy coming from a lot of bigoted people, the folk that want the status quo, that want their
tired.
Their box of tricks is tired, man.
Yep.
It's the same thing they've used forever, and I don't think people are seeing through it. I'm getting that kind of vibe off it.
I'm hoping so. I hope there's going to be a bit of a reformation of society, and we could move on it. There's always going to be arseholes.
Yeah,
there's always.
The thing is, what the mistake they make. People have the right to be arseholes.
Oh, that's right, and I would support that.
Yeah. They're trying to just stamp everything out completely.
No, I don't want.
That's not good.
The beyond the pale thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
If someone's got a bad idea, talk to them.
Yeah.
Everyone should be talking. Daryl. Oh, I always forget the guy's name. Black musician. He talks.
Oh yeah. You know
lots
the guy.
Of people out of the KKK.
He's got a collection of hoods. People just give him. They give up. Yeah.
He is magical and he's amazing, and we've got a lot to learn from someone like that.
Yeah. I suppose. Excuse me. Even most unpleasant of folk, a lot of their hatred and bigotry, it's based on this not a real person or people. And if even the worst of them, you'd be amazed if they actually spent time with people. I've watched documentaries where some lassie is embedded, she's a journalist, and she's with a group of people, and just being around her, you see them going, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
People can't change. We've got to have redemption. We keep speaking about this, but there's not enough redemption. They want people pilloried. They want people thrown out.
That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Because if people start doing that, you will create a subculture.
No, but they are.
And don't do that.
What they're creating is they're creating this little pockets of the internet.
Yeah.
Where people are heading to. Your Katie Hopkinses, your Milos, and they all go to this little horrible sewers, and then, but I don't even think they believe it. But it gets to a stage they've gone too far. There's no turning back for them.
I think sometimes they can get very used to being, using the American term, very ornery, being a bit of a wido, and just saying things.
You can say shockingly amusing stuff.
Yeah,
we say some stuff. But you don't have to be. You can be shocking, but not offensive.
I saw Katie Hopkins once, and someone complimented her.
Aye.
And she went straight on the. Why are you doing it? Okay. She didn't understand it.
She'll be damaged.
Yeah.
But you can't say that anymore she's not a super fiend.
No, she's
a person. I think she's got some brain condition, and she's got. You've got to have empathy to the worst of people. If you don't have empathy for the worst of people, you'll just be hanging people. You'll just be taking all the child molest and just hanging them.
This is what people want at the moment.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, you done something stupid 20 years ago. Now we want your job. We want." And the thing is with that, I remember always. I don't know if it's just because we were poor asses or whatever, but it doesn't matter who your enemy was. You don't go after their job. You don't go to their work and give them shit.
No.
You don't cross that line.
No. Yeah.
You could have a big fight with them at their home, but you do not go to their job.
You could put
there was that sort of
newspaper with Joby on it through their letterbox.
I think it's rich kids that don't understand what it is for someone to lose their job. I think there's idle hands that are causing this. I think someone needs an enemy to make themselves feel important.
Well, people don't really. I suppose if you are relying on, if you're on a week to week basis, and if you don't, you're fucked. Yeah.
It's like a lot of
most folk are better off now.
A lot of the social justice thing and everything, right? I agree with.
Yeah.
but the methodology is ridiculous. I don't want to cancel anybody.
No.
I want to talk a marketplace of
Well,
ideas.
Guy Ritchie.
Well, fuck him.
We could fucking cancel Guy Ritchie.
But apart, and the thing is, I said this to someone. I don't think cancelling. They went, "Oh, what's in your past that you don't want cancelled?" I went, "Nothing." But I hope that I've grown enough.
Even somebody's holding the threat, we could cancel you. That's not pleasant.
That's yeah.
That's the same playbook. If you dehumanize somebody, if you make them less than a person, you can do anything to them.
That's right.
So
that's
you
what was
shouldn't-
done to the Jews. That was done to the Native Americans.
We've just their opinion I don't like. They're not human. No, well, they are human.
That's right.
That's the very nature of humanity. Nobody's fucking perfect.
No, that's it. And I allow mistakes in people.
Well,
But when
I am actually perfect. I fart and it smells like lavender.
It doesn't.
And if I fart in the face of people who are ill, they're miraculously
cured.
My anus is like Jesus. Janus.
Honestly, do you know
Jesus.
that it's exactly 1 hour and ruin the show? We were talking politics there. We were talking positive.
I didn't ruin the show.
We were talking
It's
positive.
called the cherry on top of the cherry bakewell. Do you know they're put on by
Ruined.
hand?
What?
Yeah, cherry bakewells. They go down the conveyor belt. They don't have a machine yet to put the cherry on. Yep. No, they just have a mouthful and they go.
Well, the point is we're making. We hope that people can be more balanced, more centred, and willing to talk over reactions and violence and stuff. We want to end racism, isms, and ists.
Yeah.
A better world.
Perfect Guy Ritchie.
Fuck him.
Who else do I not like to a degree? I would never. Oh,
I think.
I'm not a fan of Ewan McGregor.
I know, you keep mentioning him. It's that voice of his, isn't
You
it? The
know what?
whininess.
You know what? And Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, not him.
Jamie Oliver. There's a lot of people were circling during this time, and they thought by getting a wee camera and doing some cooking in their mansion, they were going to get a knighthood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they ran out of juice. 'Cause
Captain Tom.
thankfully, the public can see through it a lot of it. Do you think Captain Tom is tweeting? So it's his family that are tweeting. You're like, why?
I think they're exploiting this situation.
Well, the money's now been raised.
Yeah.
So what are they after? It's maybe a shame to say it, but you know when you'd watch Blind Date, and it was young people thrusting young bucks, but then periodically throw in some old bastard.
Yeah.
Is nothing worse than a showy off old geezer.
It's.
An old guy
I
that's
always
like
think
a
they're mentally ill.
cocksure, yeah, an old cocksure guy that's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You'd see
No.
him in like aged porn. It's the same sort
it's
of
not
person
something
would do
I
it.
can watch.
No, I don't know.
No,
anything
no,
about it.
no.
On that note,
Quickly,
there we go.
this will be. I hope this isn't the show in some.
No,
Yes,
this will
so-
be. You know what I've got here right
Black
now?
dead.
Yeah, she
Aye,
died.
That's good.
She died on holiday.
She smuggled the diamonds out of South Africa up her arsehole. It's true.
Until next time.
Hey,
Laters.
ta-da.